Well, hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times. I'm here at the MUSiC launch at the Northwest Arkansas University complex and with Congressman Steve Womack. Hello, Steve, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you.
Okay, so tell me about your role here and why you think this is important, both locally and nationally.
Well, look, I bring a couple of perspectives to the table that I think are important, maybe equally important. One is the economic development side of the technological shift and strategic advantage that we create with this facility, but also bring a national security perspective. And this facility and the technology that we're talking of fits right in line with the President's agenda, and I think it will go a long way toward making America economically stronger, and it will go a long way toward making the world safer.
And there's lots of implications in terms of workforce development, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of experimentation. What's the bit that excites you most?
All of those. Look, whenever you're dealing with federal appropriations, as an appropriator, I always like to see what the return on the investment is.
Yes.
And you hit on all of them. So not only economic development and workforce development, research, national security implications, all of the things that happen bring us a return on the investment that our federal government makes in programs like this, and everybody comes out a winner.
And you talk about economic development. I mean, what does that mean for Northwest Arkansas?
Jobs.
Okay.
Jobs, and it continues to kind of elevate us in the area of not just jobs, but high-paying jobs, jobs that are on the cutting edge of the technological advantages and the technological needs of our world, and how the American entrepreneur is right square in the middle of it. And so we have an opportunity here to really create a true windfall for our state and nation.
Well, Congressman Steve Womack, thank you very much.
Honored to be with you.
Thank you. Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times. I'm now talking to Peter Wilson and Juan Balda. Peter is with the University of Bath in the UK, and I'm here also with Juan Balda, who is one of the original team working on the whole idea of this site here. Juan and Peter, hello, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
Hello there.
Okay. Juan, let's start with you a little bit. So what's your role?
Well, I'm retired from the university. I worked for 34 years, but I was one of the team members when Alan started what is called today the UA Power Group. But basically, I'm still involved because of, as you mentioned, the history. I know a lot of folks, alum particularly, since I've been here since '89.
Now tell me the genesis of the ideas here back in '89 to 2005. The establishment of companies like Wolfspeed here. Just tell me a little bit about your background and that personal story.
Well, in '89, Professor Brian Webb was going to retire. He was in power systems, and he was a very well-known professor for everyone. In fact, he has taught to some of the professors in the faculty. And so at that time, basically, he said, we need to hire someone in power, and that's where I came. And then in '91, we hired Crayola and Echek, and we were a team. And then in 2003, Cray left for a job as a dean of Valparaiso University, but he left a postdoc that was working for Alan, Alex Lostetter, in charge of the company that they have. At that time was consulting. But Alex, because of the work that we were doing on silicon carbide and power electronics, with the leadership of Alan, we were moving towards more from the traditional power system to power electronics, motor drives, and also how to also get power electronics into distribution systems, okay, medium voltage. And so that's how we started. Alex went and started what was Arkansas Power Electronics, and then eventually after 17 years, Cree bought it and renamed it Wolfspeed, and that's the operation that we have across the road here. And so it has been nice because it has been a very nice collaboration with them. We were able to get bare dies parts tested at NCREP. In 2005,
So NCREPT is the National Center for Reliable Electric Power Transmission, which is in front of us here.
It's a high power testing facility, and it's a lab where our students not only can do MATLAB Simulink or PSCAD simulations, but they can also basically build prototypes, and not prototypes that are rated 3 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt, but they are 100 to 500 kilowatts. So, and we are able to test here. So that's, seeing that growth, really, I never dream of that,
Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit, Peter. So tell us about your early involvement. I mean, first of all, no, you're a professor at University of Bath.
Yep.
What's your role?
So my role there is mainly on power electronics. So we have a National Center for Automotive Propulsion Systems, IAPS. And so most of my research is focused around automotive electric vehicle drives and also aerospace with the electrification of aircraft.
Okay.
So I've been working many years for companies like Airbus and so on in developing
and
advanced
BAE.
and BAE. And in fact, that's where I started with a company called Ferranti in Scotland, where I met Alan actually back in the early 90s.
The Ferranti fab there.
So we were doing a whole bunch of different avionics. So I was part of the power and control group there as a design engineer. Alan was telling us about this latest new idea of software simulation.
Okay.
And that's how we got to know each other. And eventually we went to work for the same company.
That was in the 90s?
In the 90s, mid-90s. Analogy based out of Beaverton in Oregon.
Okay.
Now part of the Synopsys group of companies.
Yeah.
Using the Sabre simulator.
Yes.
And then when he came back to academia here in Arkansas, around the same time I moved to Southampton University in England.
Yeah.
And we kept in touch, we kept collaborating. We'd been working together very closely in the analogy days on simulation, particularly of power electronics and power systems.
Right.
And when he came here, we continued our collaboration. So he would come and visit us. And in fact, in Southampton, we have a high voltage lab quite similar to NCREPT.
Okay.
So we were able to exchange research ideas. And then I came over to you to visit around that similar time, get involved with some of the early days of NCREPT, getting things set up and just helping out with ideas. And we had some joint projects, and those have continued right the way through to the present day.
You're here now for the launch because of your partnership there, or
that
what
long partnership,
together.
exactly.
Okay.
So a real privilege, and it's a delight to see where we've got to now.
Tell us today, I mean, what's the impact of this, the multi-user silicon carbide facility? The
well,
MUSiC.
Yeah, well, it's potentially huge. It's already having a massive impact, I think, both in the area and also nationally in the US. But for those in the US that may not be aware of the global impact of this work, so I'm Vice President of the IEEE Power Electronics Society, where we look at the future of power electronics, and the work going on here is really at that cutting edge. And particularly the new MUSiC facility, which is pushing the boundaries of what you can do with silicon carbide technology, which is really where the future is of power electronics across so many industries.
Right.
But
not
also
forgetting GaN, I guess.
well, 100%. And I think the techniques and the skills that are being developed here will be applicable to both silicon carbide and GaN and future wide bandgap materials. There's new exciting developments happening all the time.
Yeah.
And to make those a reality, you need to have facilities like this to be able to experiment, try out those new ideas, involve industry. That's the other key thing. It's not just researchers, but involve companies so they can try ideas out.
Right.
And make them work not just on a theoretical basis in the lab, but thinking about how they can use them in practical applications. So that's a really critical next step that is, it's great to see it being built in from the beginning at this facility, not just, we'll think about it for later.
Okay.
So right from day one.
Well, thanks for that. Balda, do you want to add anything else to that in terms of impact?
No, I think that what I have seen since we started this with Alan was the collaboration with industry.
Yeah.
That was also a dream, to do things that are useful to industry. And we have a couple of research centers. Maybe we have more. Over the years, we have had several that like Victor, that it was for a 5-year funded from the national government or federal government. So I think that is important, that we are able to work with industry, because here we can turn around prototype much faster, and we have the expertise. That's because in an industry sometimes employees are bogged down with managing a project and not time to doing the research that we do here.
Well, Juan and Peter, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times. I'm here at the MUSiC lab, and the full one is the National Multi-User Silicon Carbide Research and Fabrication Lab here in North Arkansas, and talking to Margaret McCabe. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, nice to see you.
And Adi Sidwa.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. Margaret, let's start with you. You're Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation. This has been quite a sort of program in the making. What does it mean for the university in terms of research and innovation here?
Oh wow, well we're so excited to be here. The MUSiC facility is actually the realization of multi-year strategy that brings together our semiconductor capabilities. We can fabricate, but we can also do power packaging here on this facility, as well as testing of that power packaging. So for us, this is a vertically integrated research facility now that also serves industry, so we could not be happier.
And how does this add to what you've been doing already in silicon carbide and in packaging? Because I mean, I see in the distance there, there's Wolfspeed, the Cree. They've been here from the beginning.
Sure.
Just tell me what's the context?
I'm going to give you a really practical answer.
Yeah.
One of the things that we get is a lot of complaints as a vice chancellor.
Yeah.
And as you may know, if we wanted to fabricate before, we were sending that work out. That would take a long time. We may have been sending it overseas, and now we get to do it right here on our campus in Arkansas. So we know that our researchers will be able to do more, team more, and it's just amazing to have the facility here on the ground.
And it also means you can bring in companies that want to do short runs. So for you, it's a research and innovation hotbed. It's actually quite good, isn't it?
I couldn't be happier about that either. Of course, it all begins with the research.
Yeah.
But when we think about the multi-user piece of this facility and that we are unique in the country, that we can welcome industry here, we can fabricate for them, but we also hope to do research side by side with them.
Okay. Let me ask you a little bit, Adi. Tell us your role here right now and what it means. You've seen it for the last, 20 plus years.
2 years ago, I've been communicating with Dr. Alan Mantu, and they had this vision about MUSiC, multi-user silicon carbide facility.
Yeah.
And, and putting the facility up here. We have gone through multiple process, especially Alan and his team, Dr. Mantu and his team.
Yeah.
But on and off, I was involved with Dr. Mantu. Early this year, we really started engaging together, and then I was talking to Dr. Mantu about, everything that is done at Northwest Arkansas is like a secret.
Yeah.
It's about time we go outside Northwest Arkansas, and show in the U.S. what this facility can do, number one, and then go to the world and say, hey, this facility has got the first silicon carbide manufacturing fab, not lab, but a fab. And you can see behind us today, they have set up a beautiful facility that can not only do the fabrication, but it can do the design, fabrication, and packaging of the material all up here within one-stop shop.
And I did the tour with you yesterday, and I think you were quite impressed with some of the equipment they've already got in there. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge because silicon carbide is the next front in technology. People don't realize, but power devices are going to play a huge role in AI applications, mainly in data center, and then the next generation of quantum computing.
Yeah.
So having this facility up here and University of Arkansas being up at the top level, not only on the research side, but on the manufacturing side, and providing the future for the U.S., for the U.S. national security, and the upcoming quantum computing program, it's huge. And I'm really, really excited to see the growth around here.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know that University of Arkansas was the first school